Well, what's up guys, this is Daniel and apparently Bear from Arms Family Homestead, and it's early September and it's time to start thinking about breeding the goats. Breeding season's here, breeding season is upon us. So today I'm going to share some of my top tips for breeding season for goats, which would kind of roll over into maybe sheep, hair sheep, and things like that also. Hey Bear, what's up buddy? What's up Bear? So we're going to be breeding our does to our Kiko buck this year, just like we did last year. But the main thing I want you guys to remember about breeding goats, if you're going to have goats, always consider this. If you're trying to improve your herd, your buck is 50% of your herd. Your buck's going to come out here, his genetics are going to be 50% of every kid born on your place. So you want to have a better quality buck. If you're going to kind of skimp somewhere, go with a more commercial style doe that may not be top quality, but spend a little bit more money on your buck and he'll improve your herd way faster than any single doe would ever do. So most goats are going to cycle every 18 to 21 days. Most goats are going to start their breeding cycle somewhere around August, September, October. A lot of meat goats will breed year-round. I don't want mine to breed year-round. I keep my buck locked up so we're not having kids year-round. I want all of my kids born about the same time. Like I said, meat goats will probably do a little bit better than dairy goats. A lot of your dairy breeds will only come in season in that fall, August, September, October, maybe through December time frame. So if you got your does, you know you're fixing to start breeding season. How can you tell when your does are ready to start breeding, when they're coming into heat? If you've got a buck pinned up, you're going to notice your does are going to start spending a lot of time close to your buck. Your does will actually go over and hang out on the fence, right next to the fence, and start kind of rubbing up against it, and they're going to spend less time with the herd. When that one single doe comes in heat, she'll start moving over there with that buck quite a bit. So let's go over here and see if we can get the does to come over here, turn the buck out, and maybe I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Now your buck is going to be a great indicator. Watch him, watch what he does. He's going to be the indicator that really tells you when breeding season's really fixing to start, because that guy will start to stink. He'll start to urinate on his beard right here, and he'll kind of have that top lip curled up and go bleh, 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 bleh. There's a ton of funny videos out there on Facebook and YouTube and stuff where you can see goats and they're just making this crazy sound and snorting and all this stuff. Well, that's usually a buck that's in season. He's ready to be with his girls. So most people do like me and they keep their bucks separated. As you can see, I've got him in a strong pen. This is an old corral system when we had cattle out here. So this is something that he can't get out of. If you're just going to set up a small fence with just some panels, get ready, because a big buck like I've got back here, he may weigh 150 to 175 pounds, maybe more than that certain times of the year. And he's strong, he's aggressive. When it comes to being with those does and being close to those does, they'll tear through a light duty fence, I promise you. One other thing while I'm in here with them, you notice he's not alone in here. I've got one of the wethers. Wether is a male goat that's been castrated that we're gonna butcher later on this year, but I've got him pinned up with my buck. Goats are herd animals. They don't like to be alone. They do a lot better if they have a buddy with them. So if you're gonna leave your buck pinned up by himself, try to make sure he's at least close to the other goats where they're, have a fence, they share a fence together, or put somebody in there with him. All right, fellas. That's the gate to nowhere. Let's go. Just get out of here. Woo. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Move, Bella. You gonna do your thing? So with just this small herd of does that I have, this buck can easily breed all of them within just a few days if they're in season, if it's their time. But I'm gonna turn him out, and I'm not gonna pin him up. I'll leave him out with them now for several months. Once he gets them all bred, I don't see a reason to keep him separated until right before we start kidding. And then once we start having baby goats born, I'll lock him up, because I don't want him messing with the does while they're trying to kid. And then soon after they kid, some of those does could cycle again, and I don't want them rebred that soon. So he's gonna be turned out now for several months, because goats, uh-oh, he is definitely interested in the girls today. Now you could kind of keep track if you want to keep a close eye. If you don't want to just have a rough estimate of when your does are going to be born, you could bring your doe in with the buck and not turn him out at all. That way you'd know the exact date they're bred. So here we're the first week of September, so we'll have all of September, October, November, December, and January. So that puts us through the end of January. So we should start having kids born roughly the beginning of February through the end of February, depending on how my does cycle. Now the next thing is at what age or what size should you start breeding your does? Most people suggest to wait until your does hit 75 to 80 pounds. It's not necessarily an age thing. Some people will wait until their does are a year and a half old. I don't think an age is near as important as the weight. You want body size. You want those does to have built up a big enough body to be able to handle a pregnancy. So 75 to 80 pounds, which puts them at about 8 months old if your does are in good shape. That guy is checking out all of his does. He's making all kinds of racket behind me. So your goal is 75 or 80 pounds, and then it should be safe to breed them. The only one I probably have that might not be quite that big is Skip, our little bottle doe. But that's because she was raised on a bottle. Age-wise, she's plenty old enough now. But being a bottle babies just grow slower. So I may pin her up separately just so she doesn't get bred this year. Or at least maybe not right now. I may wait a few months on her. You can obviously tell that a lot of my does are receptive right now. They're ready for the buck to be turned out. They're in season, they're ready. It's definitely the time of year. So we should have babies born, you know, in 5 months from today. Come back and check out our channel and we'll have baby goats on the ground. So a lot of people don't breed their does as early as I do. And actually this year, I'm breeding a month later than I did last year. In the last couple of years, not always, the last few years I've turned my buck out about the 1st of August, which put my kids being born right around the 1st of the year. We'd have babies born early January. I'm waiting an extra month this year just so we get a little closer to that green grass. But a lot of people hold off and have their kids born. They think they need to have them born in like April, May time frame, so everything's already green then. And I just don't like that. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people, because I know it does. But for me personally, I found that having my kids born late winter when it's still nice and cold, I don't have near as much problem with worms and flies and just all the pests and bugs and things that can bother baby goats. When they're born when it's still nice and cold, at least with Kikos, some of them are boar cross, but a lot of my goats are Kikos, my buck's Kiko. Those Kiko babies they handle the cold really, really well. They can be born when it's still, you know, in the 30s and 40s, and as long as that mama's a good mom, she gets them dried off, man, they jump up and take right off. No problems at all. I've had goats born when it's below freezing. That's probably not the best recommendation, but as long as they've got a good dry barn they can get in with good bedding, they don't have any problem at all. I love having my goats born in the wintertime because I don't have to worry about worms, flies, and all that stuff. It's just so much easier, so much nicer, and actually a lot less stressful on the kids. Hey Bear, you aggravating your goats? You love them goats though, don't you? You just like playing, huh? So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned a little bit of something. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. We've got a whole playlist on goat care and maintenance videos, a lot of stuff. I've had a lot of requests for more goat care and maintenance type videos. So if there's anything you want to see or you want me to talk about or try to explain, leave it in the comment section down below. And be sure to check out that playlist on goat care and maintenance. We've got a ton of videos on goats. For whatever reason, everybody loves goat videos on our channel. But they're just goats. They're just a herd of goats. They're not anything fancy. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.